Louis Police Department, is this an emergency?
Yeah, just thinking about doing it.
Sir, do not open that record. Sir! Sir!
I'm thinking about doing it. This is the sound of my old Barlow knife. I got my old Barlow knife. This is the sound of cutting into the kind of one of the most historic records that I own. A sealed record. So, anyway, if you want to hear that, should I do it? Would you do it? Like, it's not exactly expensive. Historic. This is historic. It's a Blues Classics record. And that is worth talking about. It's kind of tied into a whole bunch of history. And if you don't know who Blind Boy Fuller is, I mean, you gotta know who Blind Boy Fuller is before any of this makes any sense. So, Blind Boy Fuller, he was born Fulton Allen. He was a North Carolina guitar player. He played national duolian, and his guitar styles are kind of in the camp of Rev Gary Davis and Blind Blake.
Had a little girl, she was little and low. Used to love me, but she don't no more. You gotta step it up and go.
Blind Boy Fuller was a busy guy. So, he recorded 135 sides in 5 years. This is all before he's 33 years old. He recorded on to 78s. 78s is 78s. 78s are the little ones. 78s, eventually they became a dead medium, and a lot of them were just discarded and trashed. And it's kind of like DVDs, you know? Think about all those DVDs you can't pay to get rid of. Speaking of that,
the Netflix DVD service is going dark.
R.I.P. Netflix DVDs. You will be missed. Kinda. Somewhere along the way, there was a group of kinda unusual people who were interested in 78s, and understanding that, you know, these 78s weren't going to get played because nobody wanted to listen to them. They were trying to find ways to make them accessible, and the fashion of the day was 33s. Yeah, at the time it was a very fashionable thing to do. Just take a bunch of songs from, you know, one particular artist and put them onto a compilation, and seemed to be pretty safe bet. I mean, the artist has been dead for years, right? Right, not exactly. So, cease and desist order. So, Blues Classics was one of these tiny little labels that did this, that reissued 78s onto 33s. And this model was one that the big dogs like Columbia wanted to go away. I will start by saying that a lot of this information I'm sharing was made possible by this guy Elijah Wald. So if he ever sees this, I do want to thank him for sharing that information and give you credit where credit is due. So thanks, Elijah Wald. So Blues Classics was started by Chris Stratwitz. That's a hard name. I don't know if that's right. Chris Stratwitz. Arhoolie Records. Chris Stratwitz of Arhoolie Records. Very hard to say. Very hard to say. I'm sorry if that's wrong. He started Blues Classics as a reissue subsidiary. Basically, he didn't want to get his main label, Arhoolie, shut down in the event Columbia went after him. But there's actually a lot more to it than that. That's not the only reason he started it.
Ain't no need you try to tell on me. I know something on you.
Memphis Mini, one of the most amazing guitar players Memphis ever produced, and one of my biggest crushes of my entire life. One of the main reasons he started Blues Classics was to actually funnel Memphis Mini money, who wasn't getting a dime from Columbia Records for the music she recorded. Memphis Mini wasn't making a dime. Blues Classics was started to send her money.
I know something on you.
And what he came up with, it's awesome. So he basically just took her songs, reissued them, put them back out, and sent her the royalties direct. And on the back of the album, he actually urged fans to send her money to her mailing address. I mean, it's fuck the man. I mean, it really is. In this case, the man being Columbia. So this release here of Blind Boy Fuller, once this record came out, that was it. Columbia was fed up with it. They flagged it. They got a cease and desist order, and that ain't good. That ain't a good thing when you get one of those. I don't know what I would do if that happened. I don't know if I would have the gumption to do anything that he did. So no point in speculating. If you're the kind of person though who is willing to do things like this, be the Robin Hood of the day, you hopefully are the kind of person who's lawyered up, and it's a good thing he was. The legal advice he's given is to send Columbia a letter and say, prove it. prove that you're the owner. This is happening to this day of descendants of blues musicians. It gets kind of gross with the whole legal thing. It gets very gross very quickly, as you could imagine. But that was the last he had ever heard from Colombia. And this record, it's kind of one of those things that stood between Colombia and our blues classics. It just seems historic in that way. And I wonder if opening it is smart. I wonder what you would do if you were me and you had this record. Ooh. Guess it doesn't matter because I have it. And that is Air from 1964. And this is a blues classics of Blind Boy Fuller that I'm about to listen to. And I'm so excited for it. Oh, it's so clean. I love new old things. I love vintage. I love brand new vintage things. The color's so nice. Look at that beautiful, cute little blue. If you want to hear this record, you should consider checking out my Patreon page. That's the way you can funnel money to me. I have a weekly show called Rare Radio where we listen to old records. We talk a little bit about the history. Sometimes I tell you the story about how I got the record. In this case, my mom. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you should check out the link in the description. Otherwise, feel free to watch this video that's coming up next, and we'll see you at that. Thanks.